My name is El and welcome back to Return to Wrestling. In today's video, I want to talk about the new WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, and the recently vacated NXT Championship. So recently, on Smackdown, Drew McIntyre won the WWE Championship. Before we start off, I'm just going to call it the WWE Championship because I don't know if it's technically the Universal, the Undisputed, whatever, I don't know. I haven't been following for like 15 years, so don't get mad at me. But Drew McIntyre won, best 2 out of 3 falls match. I think Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, or Benoit and MVP, had a best 2 out of 3 where it didn't go to the third match. Usually it does, and I know people are like, oh, well, you know, the third match is always something big and exciting. You think they would make the last match a singles match in case it gets to that point? I don't know, but I know people pay to see 3 falls, but it's always a bit predictable, isn't it? Anyways, Drew won. That's something I honestly didn't expect to see. Speaking of thinking things are predictable, I thought Drew was going to lose. I didn't want him to. This whole time, while he's been feuding with Cody, I just wanted him to win. I don't really like Cody. I don't know, nothing against him, but he's just a very bland babyface to me. Maybe if he turned heel, if I saw him as a heel, maybe I'd like him more. But as a babyface, I'm not too excited about him. Drew McIntyre, glad he won. I think he really needed this win. And again, I didn't think he was going to do it. I wasn't expecting it, but I wanted him to. And he deserved it. After everything he's been through, you know, Cody Rhodes showed up to his house, which I'm sure nobody thought was going to happen, especially the people involved. He burned a picture of Cody's dad, which was hilarious. So, you know, Drew deserves it. But I like him as a heel because he does complain and stuff, which you sort of expect from a heel. But he also looks like, and he also wrestles like somebody who can beat you in a match. So it's like, yeah, he's going to complain, but he can also beat you up. So, you know, I think that's you sort of need a bit of both for a good heel. But yeah, he's a champ. I'm glad to see that. But I want to talk about some people on SmackDown who I think maybe this year we could see challenge Drew for the WWE Championship. I'm not going to include anybody who's currently not on the roster, and since Drew is a heel, I'm going to pick some baby faces. Let's start with Matt Cardona. I don't think he's going to get like a pay-per-view main event match or whatever, but I can see him this year getting a title shot, just maybe on SmackDown for whatever reason, but I don't see him winning it either. But people who might be able to win, I could see feuding with Drew McIntyre this year, depending on how long he keeps the title. Damian Priest, he's on SmackDown, he just feuded with Aleister Black for like 6 or 7 months, which I guess you have to nowadays. And then Kevin Owens, I think he's going to be back at the Rumble. I've mentioned this in another video. I think he's going to come back. He can be a babyface, I think, if he just comes back and doesn't act like a heel and he feuds with Drew. Hopefully R-Truth gets a title shot. I'm a big Ron Killings fan back in the day in NWA TNA times. If you weren't there for that, check it out. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. Would be nice to see him get another title shot this year. But people who might actually win it this year, who can go up against Drew, Randy Orton. I believe they've had matches before. Since I haven't watched for 15 years, I haven't seen them. I don't know how many matches they may or may not have had for whichever titles it may or may not have been for. But he's someone I can see in like the main event world title picture, as well as Jacob Fatu. I think this kid is going to be back soon, probably at the Rumble, and I'm sure he's going to have like a feud with somebody over something. He did come in at the the third match, the third round, whatever it was of the match, and he did beat up Drew. We got into a little scuffle, I don't know what to call, a little tuffle with little Cody, and Drew snuck out. So yeah, who knows, maybe that's going to be the feud. But those are the people I can see, the faces at least, the baby faces, who will probably challenge Drew at some point this year. Somebody else I can see challenging Drew is the former NXT champion. So on NXT, Oba Femi recently vacated the NXT title. For those of you who missed it for whatever reason, he wins the match, and then it cuts to Ava in the back talking to a bunch of nobodies about nothing. And then this guy, I've been watching like NXT for about a year now, and I don't know who the guy and the girl are who are like Ava's assistants. So this guy just runs in, and he was talking about something, but nobody really cares about what he says. And he's talking about like Oba and everyone, and like Ava's like, yeah, he just won the match, who cares? And he's like, no, did you see he did something else? And everyone's like, what? And they cut to like just a title in the ring, he vacated it. I think he's probably going to be at the Rumble. I wouldn't put him in the Rumble unless he's going to win, I don't think he's going to win, but he has a better chance of winning the Rumble than he does the title. Like at Saturday night's main event, he had a match against Cody, and Drew came in, there was interference. I forgot if they ruled it as like a no contest or whatever, but I could see that coming into play for like a future angle with Oba and Drew, whether it's if Oba wins the Rumble and he goes after Drew, or it's something they save for later in the year. Oba Femi, I would love to see him win the title. Like I said, I think he has a better chance of getting a title shot, like a major title this year, than he does actually winning it, but big Oba Femi fan. I think if you're going to push Braun Breaker, you should push Oba Femi too, and I don't know, I'd like to see him win a title, see how it goes for him. But that makes me wonder who's going to challenge for the now vacated NXT Championship. I mean, we have Tony D'Angelo, who was recently a mob boss, and now I think he's just a regular guy. But, no, he likes to just stand in the audience and just stare at the ring, and recently just stare at the title, because that's something you want to do in wrestling. It's very difficult to, get mic time to say, hey, I want to challenge for the title, so it's just a lot easier to just stand in the audience and stare at things. But I'm glad he's not a mob boss. I just want to say that when I started watching NXT, I didn't understand what was happening with the Mafia thing. It's like, why is there a fake Mafia in NXT? It just seemed like something out of the Attitude Era, or it was like Vince-style booking, but Tony D'Angelo, he did a good job. I would like to see him go for the championship. I don't know if I'd have him win it or not. I'd like to see more of him before I make that decision, but he does a good job. That's somebody I can see trying to win the title this year. Ethan Page as well. I know he's double champion right now. I think he still is. I'm sure he'd love to be triple champion, especially the NXT World Champion. I don't know if the NXT title is a world title or not. I'll just call it the NXT title for now. But Ethan Page, I really like the work he's been doing. I heard he was an A&W. Yeah, maybe he was there. I don't know. But AEW, I think I heard he was there. So I imagine he probably did a good job, seeing how well he does in NXT and AAA. Yeah, good wrestler, good on the mic. I'm sure once he gets pushed up to the main roster, he's going to kill it on there, but I definitely see him going for the NXT title at some point. Also, Ricky Saints, Sticky Rick, as I like to call him sometimes. Good wrestler, he's good on the mic, but every time he does that pose, it's just, I can't deal with it. It kills me every time. It's like, I want to say, you know what, he's a good wrestler, he's good on the mic, and then he does that pose, I'm just like, every time it gets me. But he won the title, I think. He beat Oba for it, yeah, so I'm sure he probably wants to get it again. I don't know if they're going to push him up to the main roster or not. It seemed like they rushed to give him the NXT, I think it was the North American title, and then the NXT, main title. So I wouldn't be surprised if they rushed him to the main roster, but if not, him challenging for the title, the NXT title, is probably something that might happen. As well as Josh Briggs, Joe Briggs, what's his name? John Briggs? Josh Briggs. He was challenging for it before. I haven't been watching NXT prior to last year. I don't know if he's won that title before or what NXT titles he may or may not have won. But he's a big guy, he's a heel. I could see him in the mix for the title. He's done a pretty good job from what I've seen so far. I don't know if I'd say he's main roster ready, I don't think that. I don't know if he's even ready to be NXT champion, but he's definitely ready to try and compete for it, to try and challenge for it. Also, I could see maybe not winning the title, but definitely challenging for the NXT title. Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. They were a part of No Quarter Catch Crew. I think I said that correct. Or the Ren QCC, the like spin-off faction, the like West Coast Avengers version. But yeah, I can definitely see those two kids at some point trying to challenge for the title. I'd like to see them sort of as like rivals, but they're still friendly. I don't know, something like Goku and Krillin like back in the day, or Goku and Vegeta, something like that. But it'd be fun to see them, especially Miles Bourne. He's been doing a good job so far. Would like to see him carry his momentum and then some into 2026. Also, Lexis King and Jasper Troy, just because they're heels, they're just there. I don't think they're going to win the title at all, but just some heels you can throw in just to have challenge or whatever, but ultimately have them in the mix, but you know they're not going to win. And that's just a couple people that I think on the NXT roster might be in there. Also, I think we might see some TNA people try to go for the title as well. I know I've mentioned Joe Hendry. I don't know if he's signed to TNA, NXT. I heard people say he's going to the main roster, so I don't know. I don't follow all the dirt sheets and the rumors, so I'm out of the loop, but maybe him, if not. Again, I don't know if these people are currently signed to TNA or not, but in my head, I still think of them as TNA, like Mike Santana, Moose, Leon Slater. I could see those guys trying to challenge for the NXT title, and who knows, maybe we will see a TNA wrestler win the NXT title next. But that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.